Alright, today we're gonna do nachos. Let's see, we're gonna ground some meat. Got how many pounds I got here? 2 pounds. So 2.25 pounds. Right, so we're just gonna ground it up. Whatever kind of beef. If you got chicken, some chicken. You can buy like chicken like Myers. You go get the whole roasted chicken. Chop that up. Whatever, you can use that for your nachos. If just whatever kind of meat you got. If you got some meat in the fridge from leftovers from, let's say, another meal, whatever, just chop that up, warm that up, throw that onto the nachos. Whatever, experiment a little bit as far as the topping, as far as the meat wise. We're gonna do ground beef. Also we're gonna do a cheese sauce. All right, so we're gonna make our own cheese sauce. We did it before. I'll link the video in the down below in the comment section and up here. As far as how we made a dipping sauce, a cheese dipping sauce, when we did the pretzels, soft pretzels. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit different on the pretzel one. We kind of did it with much more of a creamier cheese sauce. We're gonna do a little bit different for nachos because we like little nachos to be much more of a thicker type of gooey cheese. If you like the gooey, the recipe that we got now for the gooey cheese for the pretzel, soft pretzeling, hey, do the cheese sauce we're gonna do now, and use it for the soft pretzels. Whichever way you like it. So we're gonna do that. Also, we're gonna do is, all right, we're gonna use regular beans. Right? You can use if you watch my video. I've got how to do beans, okay, and how to do that, and what it is to take into that. But a lot of times we're not going to rush to, so go ahead, just cans of beans is fine too, or whatever kind of beans you can get, just those are fine, So we're going to use pinto beans off a can, right? So no big deal. We're just going to drain it and use it that way, all right? So we can do that, or if you want, like I said, watch my video. I'll link it down below again, like just I did with the pretzel one. I'll link it down below, put it on the top, indicating how to make beans. What to do as far as making a good pot of beans to do, put into this. All right. So also, we're gonna do is tortilla chips. Again, tortilla chips. You can go buy your favorite kind. Whatever kind that you like. Just go buy some. Out of a bag. But we're gonna do something a little different. I'm not gonna use those. I'm gonna show you how to make your own tortilla chips. That's how we like them. Make our own tortilla chips. Very easy. What we're doing, just corn tortillas. All right. Now you can make your own tortilla, but just go buy some store-bought ones. They work just fine because they're just gonna be chips, right? So really good, nice. I'll show you how to make this. Good recipe. Yeah, taste, I love them. Anyway, so let's get going, right? Let's get cooking. We got the cheese stuff. We got the cheese mixture stuff that we have. We basically got some flour. We got some queso. Chimalua. Chimalua. I don't know how to say that. This package. Mexican cheese is the really stringy. It's like a mozzarella cheese. Like it's kind of like a Mexican.
It almost looks like Chihuahua.
Yeah, it's like a Chihuahua. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I guess it is like a Chihuahua cheese. It's kind of like I said before, like a mozzarella cheese. Like how it's really stringy. So that's where you're gonna get the really gooey stringiness cheese that we're gonna put on the cheese, right? We got mild cheddar cheese, right? Mild cheddar cheese. Don't get the regular hard cheddar, whatever. Is it hard? Sharp cheddar cheese. Don't get that. We don't want that. We want mild cheddar cheese, right? We've got a pound here. We're gonna shred all this up. Okay. Get this kind. It melts better. Don't go get the store-bought like a shredded cheese on the mild one, because what it is, they're lined. It's lined with stuff with coating on it, so it doesn't really melt all that well. But just go get a block of cheese, and just go ahead and shred that yourself. Okay, that's better. If you don't, if you only can do the shredded one, then use that. But I'm just saying,
survive it.
It's a difference. Okay, so just to do that. All right, so we got just garlic powder, some black pepper and salt. We got some cumin, right? All this is like seasoning. The seasoning is gonna be for like the meat, and then also for the tortilla chips. Like I'm gonna show you how to make that. Okay. So, and like I said, the butter, the cream, some flour, all that, the cheese. It's all for the cheese sauce, all right? So let's get going, all right? Okay, so what we got here, we got set up here, we're reset up on the stove, as you can tell, of course, is what we got is an empty bowl. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna put all the chips after we're done doing what we gotta do. We've got a pot here with oil, right? So we're just got it on high heat, right? We're waiting for it to come up to temperature. We got over here is just a plate with some paper towels on it, right? So as soon as we take them out of the tortillas after they're good, or fried good, we're gonna put them in here so that it will then, this is where we're gonna soak up the oil, the excess oil, and we're gonna season it here. Okay, as soon as we're done seasoning it, we're gonna just dump it into the bowl, right? And we'll just kind of a rotation, right? Get a spider. Yeah, that's what they call it, spiders. Yes. So a spider. And that's what we're gonna be using to dig out, right? Nice investment. All right, so what we got here is a bag of tortillas, right? And we're just gonna get some of these tortillas. We just stack them up. And the first one is always like a really, not really good one. So that's gonna be like our test one that we're gonna use to test the oil, because we want to see about how it's going to fry. And that's just gonna help us out. So what we're just gonna cut them up. Just cut it out and just grab a piece and just don't worry about it. Just, you know, all we're doing is dipping the end part to see if it, what we're looking for is bubbles to start happening on the edges of the tortilla when the oil hits the tortilla. We're just looking to see if it's doing anything. It's not really there. So we're gonna wait a little bit longer. Right? And that's all we're using that for. That's what we're gonna look for, okay? So we're just gonna dump it in there. See how it's starting to bubble? See that? That's what we're looking for. Okay, so those are our test pieces. Just gonna drop it there. See how that goes? That's basically what you're doing. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're just gonna quarter these. And that's basically what you do. So that's pretty much a good sized chip. All right, so what we're just gonna do is just get a knife, just cut it down the middle, just get a good amount right there, see? It's like cutting a cake, right? So you can leave it like that, turn your thing, cut it again, just go down the middle. There you go, right? That's quarter. Actually, we're doing more, right? We're doing less than a quarter. What do you call it? Eighths?
Eighths.
Eighths. I'm doing eighths, not quarters. I apologize. So just cut it again. That's sixths. I'm gonna get it right.
Have Burden come out here and teach you fractions.
Yeah, I have my son come out here and teach me fractions. Yeah, because. All right. So basically what you're going to do with all of them is you're going to drop them in there one at a time, but you don't want to crowd it. And so you'll have it fry for one side, and then all you do is, once you get a good fry on it and it starts to get a little hard, you just flip it over. Just grab the end, the corner piece, and just flip it over, right? That's all you're going to do. And you're going to fry it on that for a little bit. And it's going to change. I tell you how long to do it, but it's all different depending on how high the heat on your stove is, right? So you're just basically wanting like a golden brown color, right? So then we're just gonna drop it there, right? So that's it. Okay, so that's all we're gonna do. That's all the process we're gonna be doing, right? So what I like to do is I just grab a stack and then just throw them in there one at a time. Just flick them in there like you're dealing cards. All right, so that's about it right there, right? So you just want a good layer on the top. You don't want to crowd it where they're up on top of each other. What's going to happen, the reason why you don't want to do that, if you do it on top of each other like that, is they're going to stick together, and then you're going to have a bunch of chips that are stuck together. Okay, so you don't want them where they're laying on top of each other very much. And when they start to a little bit, just kind of hit them, just kind of knock them down into the oil. If you see them start to, that way you want to make sure it's cooking without it sticking together. So you're kind of like, okay, they're good, they're not going to stick. So once it starts hardening up the shell of the tortilla, you're good. It's not going to stick together anymore, or want to stick together. So that's all we're gonna do. So we're just kind of going through them, kind of hitting them and kind of grabbing corners and just flicking them over. Okay, so we're gonna let it fry on that side for a little bit. See how they're harden up. Okay. And that's what you gotta figure out how long you want to do it. See how that one's not cooked all the way. It's kind of raw here a little bit, and it's crunchy on the sides, and that's where you're kind of testing it out. So that's basically all you're doing. It's like, okay, that one's not too good. We're gonna do a little bit longer. That's all you're doing. You're just kind of working it until you get a good consistency of what you like, and how crispy you want it. You don't want to get too crispy, then it gets burnt or gets darker. See, that's a little bit darker than that, right? So that's what we're doing. Just waiting for a little bit, and then I'm just gonna lay it out here, shake it up a little bit. Okay. So at this time, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna throw some more in there really quick, and let them get going. Like I said, like dealing cards. If it starts splattering on you, it's kind of because you probably got some water in it, it'll probably pop. That's okay. Just turn it on and heat a little bit, you know, or get. If you got like a top on it, just put the top on it to kind of like, hey, you know, protect yourself with it until it stops popping. All right, so over here, while those are cooking on one side, we're gonna go over here, get some salt, throw some salt on it, a little bit of salt. That's the best time to go ahead and season it is when it's kind of a little hot and oil's still on it, because that'll help it to stick, the seasoning to stick on it. And that's all I'm doing. And I'm just kind of going back and forth with it, like that, right? Turn it around, kind of like that, right? That's all we're doing. Okay. So then now, by doing that, it's cooled off a little bit. So there we go. We're going to do that, right? So we're going to just work through all these tortillas and kind of do the same thing. Of course, the wife's going to eat some chips because I just made some. And then now it's time for me to flip these over. Okay, so basically what I did is got it on medium high heat, right? Got a frying pan, move the hot oil that we did for the tortillas and made them into chips, right? So that's over there now and it's cooling down. I got just a big frying pan, just whatever meat you use. Just make sure you have a big enough pan that fits it all. So that's all you gotta do. All I did was just ground it up. I didn't add any oil or anything because you know the ground beef's gonna produce its own oil. It's gonna cook in its own fat. So all I did was just crumble it up and put it in here. So now I got it on high heat. I'm just waiting for it to come up, right? So we're just gonna go and work it through and just ground it up. Okay. So we're just gonna season it too here. Let me get this. Try to put this on that. All right, so just all to taste, right? So just grab some black pepper. Also some black pepper. All right, salt it. Cumin. And then we're gonna add some what I like to do, how much do you add? I kind of, depending on what I'm cooking, I kind of do like a coating of it first, right? Just get a good coat of it. And then, after it's done cooking, I'll cook it some more, I'll taste it and see if I want to add anything else. If I want to add more cumin, I want to add more salt or pepper or garlic powder. So there's another thing, adding garlic powder as well. So we added pepper, salt, cumin, and now some garlic powder, okay? That's all I'm doing. So all we're doing is browning this up, making sure this gets all good and brown. All right, so we're just gonna work it right now until it's brown, and then we'll get from there. We'll go on to the next step, right? That's all we're doing on this. So we're just gonna ground it up. Or brown it up, not ground it up. It's already ground meat. That's kind of silly, but you know what I mean. All right, I think we're good. We're good as far as meat, and that's basically what you're looking for. Like, you know, just kind of a good grounding. You know, you don't want no pink. No pink. Look for pink. You know. Here we go. So now what we're gonna do is drain it, or strain it. Or drain it. On the bottom. All right. So all you're gonna do is just put it in there. We don't want to throw this in the sink because that's going to clog up your sink. We don't want to do that.
That's a very expensive bill.
That's a very expensive bill if you don't know how to unclog your own drains. So all we're doing is just throwing it in there really quick just to strain all the excess oil. See? That's basically what it's doing. So we're just going to leave that there for a little bit as it strains. And then we're put that in a bowl and we're ready for that, right? So we'll go on to the next step. Okay? All right, cheese time. Yay! All right, I'll show you the trick on the cheese now. New trick, or new cheese recipe. Okay, forgot one more thing. Refried beans. We gotta do the refried beans, right? We're using the canned ones. We got a video. You can make your own beans, right? I've got a video. I'll show you. I'll put it in the comment section, you know, and put it in the link showing that how to make your own beans. But let's just say you didn't prepare one and you are in a rush to do it, right? Just get some things, pinto beans. I'll show you how to refry beans. Refried beans basically means is all they're doing is grabbing whole beans and you're putting them in oil. I got it at high heat. Just go with medium high, right? So all you're going to be doing is grabbing the beans and then frying them. Basically, that's all that means. Refried beans means you're frying cooked beans. Okay, so all we're doing is we got both cans in there, like we did. We're just got oil, like I said, hot oil, and it's just cooking the beans, right? Basically, just get it to a thing where it warms it up. All right, so that's all we're going to do, and then get a masher, and we mash it. Basically, I'm not really sure about why they call them refried beans. You never fried them the first time, so why would you refry them? And I never got that. When I was growing up, I always kind of wanted that myself. But, like I said before, refrying is just frying cooked beans. Boiled beans. So frying boiled beans. Yeah. I think that was too long of a word, or too long of a name. So they just call it refried. I don't know. I always wondered that though.
Probably.
So, yeah. So all we're gonna do now is we're just gonna mush them. And I'm just grabbing it and kind of work them in the middle. So I'm going one side and then push downward, inward. Basically all I'm doing. And I'm kind of scooting some in the middle, do the same thing with those. And just mushing them down. That's all I'm doing. And I don't want these to be, and I kept some of the juice in there. Like one can I went ahead and drained it off. The other can I kind of drained a little bit of the juice. I wanted to keep it somewhat runny and stuff, but not too runny. Well, it depends on how you like your nachos and stuff. We kind of like it a little bit where it's not really thick and heavy, because that way it's kind of hard to use your chip to dig in there, you know, to get a good a good scoop of, you know, everything that's mixed into it, like the meat and the beans and all the other stuff that we're gonna put in it. All right, so that's basically what we're doing. Okay. That's it, right there. There we go. All right, it's not all the way on. You still got some solid pieces here and there, but that's okay. I mean, that's basically what you're needing, looking for, right? That's basically what we want, right there. All right, on to the next one. Now we're going to do cheese. Now we're on to the cheese part, all right? So we're going to go ahead and put this in a bowl and we'll get it ready, all right? See you there. All right, so now we're at cheese. We're going to do cheese mixture, okay? I got 2 tablespoons of butter. I'm just basically I'm just going through and I'm just going to, I've got a medium heat, a little too high. Medium heat, so I'm just melting this butter down really quick, all right? So I'm just gonna do that. All right, so that's starting there, and then I'm gonna add the whipping cream, okay? We got 3 cups, right? 3 cups of whipping cream. We're just gonna add it to it. Just gonna incorporate it all together. Just gonna work it together, right? Alright, so that's got a good mixture in that, right? So that's all we're doing. Alright, medium heat. Alright, the cheese, cheddar cheese, right? Not sharp, just cheddar cheese. We're just gonna add some of that cheese in there, a little at a time. You wanna make sure it incorporates really well. So, yes, I wash my hands, so if you're wondering. So, like I said, just keep adding little by little.
Pour it all in.
Or pour almost all in. You just want to make sure you get it enough so that it'll start, you know, giving it time to work the cheese and it doesn't bring the whole mixture back down as far as in degrees. The degrees, you're trying to get it where it just stays consistently the same temperature, so that way it helps you to work to melt the cheese faster. That's all. I mean, you could just actually just pour it all in at one time and then work it that way. So that's all basically I'm doing. I'm just working the cheese back and forth. Make sure that's all went ahead and got dissolved into the whipping cream. The heavy whipping cream. Whipping cream. I said it right this time. Yay! For those who don't know, I keep saying whooping cream. Before. One of those words you can't really say right, you know? Like, some people have problems saying aluminum. Or cinnamon. Yeah, a lot of M&Ms. So basically what you're doing is just trying to get a consistency, kind of like, oh, okay. So, alright, so we went ahead and did that, right? Looks like it's good and incorporated. Alright. So now, we're gonna start adding a chihuahua. Not a real dog, not a dog chihuahua. Chihuahua cheese, Mexican cheese. We're gonna add a chihuahua. No, not a real chihuahua. Just add a little bit at a time until you get the consistency that you want, that you like. All right, so just add some in the bag and then just see if that gives you the consistency that you want. See how stringy it's starting to get? Look at that. See that? It's getting there. We're gonna add some more. I'd say for us, we probably want the whole bag. That's what we'll get for us. Really stringy. Really stringy. It makes it much more stringier than I say twice. Work a little bit more, but
Yes.
there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Look at that. See, like that. That's what we're talking about. There we go. All right. So let's get this thing plating. All right. See you there. Okay. Here we go. Nachos. All plated up, ready to go. Basically, what it is. Look, got plenty of nachos left over for all your friends, family, whoever, or yourself. You know, you can store them up to the side if you wanted to. You can actually grab them and, you know, save them, put them in a baggie, you know, a big bag. Huh?
A paper bag.
Paper bag. You know, you put them in a paper bag. Put them in a paper bag, or if you don't, you know, put them in a Ziploc bag if you don't have them. You kind of want a little air to get to them, but because you kind of seal them up inside of a plastic bag, it's going to get moist and stuff because of the heat. But just make sure it's good and cooled off. But anyways, either way, save them off to the side. You can have just, you know, you can have more nachos next time. Or if you want, you know, look at my salsa video and just eat it with salsa, you know, just as a snack, a midnight snack or whatever, or afternoon snack or whatever kind of snack, right? That's another way to do it for that. Okay, so we did that, right? We went in, here's the cheese, we did the cheese, the beans, ground beef we did. Went ahead and put like a dollop. Do a dollop. Yeah, so did a dollop right there, right? So there we go. Nachos, there we go. Let's get a good plate of that, look at that. There you go, nachos. Crispy chips and everything. Nice. Cheese is really, look at that cheese. Oh yeah. The cheese is moving and everything, this is goopy. That's a bad word, goopy, but it's a goopy in a good sense, alright? So enjoy, alright? See you later, bye. Alright, cheese mixture. Okay. Every time I start, like.